Hey there! It is September 18th. Okay, I'm getting really closer to back to Earth, or at least back to the real world. I'm not sure if that's Earth yet. Feet are not quite on the ground. Been kind of a whirlwind of things. So, but we did get back to a little bit more normal, your normal programming this week. I had a great time putting together part of Nexus, the Dan Fogelberg tune that is in drop D, so I'm not going to go into it right now. But with the request that came in for that last week, it was a very coincidental thing because I'd gotten a couple of personal requests for that recently too. So I thought, oh, okay, this is just more of the karmic thing that's going on, you know, that kind of materialized because of camp. So that was one of the things that happened this week. What else? We took a look at Marc, our IG seer, working on reviewing some of the stuff that you need to know with steady bass notes, you know. And oh, I should have done that song with that. Let's see. Anyway, that tune could lend itself to a little bit more of the Big Bill Broonzy approach. I hope everybody knows what that is. That'll be the mystery song for the day. Got a couple little puzzles to either pose or solve coming up today. Also, I'm going to talk about, Michelle, you have put together some really cool ideas here at... You made me break out my slide and mess around with stuff the other day. So, hope to get to a little bit of that next week. It kind of put the whole idea in my head. I think I probably responded to this on the forum that a whole little slide course, rather than just a couple of songs we have up there, the George Harrison tune, well, really My Sweet Lord, of course, has slide stuff in it too. And If Not For You, I believe, right? And then Amazing Grace. That might be the only things. If anybody else out knows of any other slide-related pieces that I have, refresh me, or my memory or something. But anyway, I'll get back to the slide in a second, and then I have a... So that's about all I want to talk about today. But the other songs that came out, this was a very cool one. And I noticed Scott already put up a little video. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet because I'm actually doing the news fairly late today. It's already mid-afternoon here, or early afternoon. Question about not so much this chord, but later on we hear this chord, and they are the same. And yes, there's an A sharp in the bass. It's not an A sharp 7 chord though. So take it down to the 4th fret or the 2nd fret and see what notes you're playing. If we have that shape that looks like an A minor 7 barred, but we're playing the 6th string in the bass. Okay, that's the clue for today. Maybe the answer will be, maybe I'll give you the answer tomorrow. But good question about, I think you referred to as measure 22, but the bar at the 6th, and we're we're hearing all the strings. Well, we don't. I guess we hear all the strings except the fifth. Really important. So what chord is that? Okay, enough on that. Vanessa, Vanessa was here till last week, and when she played Russians for me, I'm thinking, you're going to do a lesson on this really soon, right? Because this is a beautiful song. I hope you guys have had a chance to check it out. And nice little just simple arpeggio going on, but the chord progression keeps going places you don't expect, which makes it really neat. Reminds me a lot of Wrapped Around Your Finger, of course. Gee, surprise, surprise, same guy. So. Let's see, I think that's it for that little piece of the news. Not much IGC news going on, except that we did get, for people that did the Wednesday open mic, you got an email that has a link to that, so you can check out your things, and that's something we're trying to get happening a lot quicker this year. So and if everybody's okay with us sharing them with, well, I'll save that for later. It'll be a question for the campers. And that takes me to the slide thing. I do want to start with a couple of just important slide techniques. One is making sure that the slide is always parallel to the fret. You can't be like this. So you can probably see my hand there. The notes will be out of tune. So you have to really crank your hand around so the slide is exactly or perfectly parallel to the fret. And then you play the notes right on top of the fret. So, if I'm playing the middle three strings, the second, third, and fourth strings here, they have to be the same pitch as those notes there. And if I put my finger where I press it down there, it'll be flat. And you want to work on a little bit of vibrato techniques, gently sliding it back and up and down, not up and down the string. A big one would sound like this. To give that little shimmery sound. Also, you need to make sure not to press it down too hard. If you hear that kind of noise, that's bad. What I just did there was played a little notes out of an E blues scale. 12th fret on the first string, 12 and 10, basically pattern 5 out of the pentatonic patterns. 12 and 10 on the first string, 12 and 10 on the second string, 12 and 9 on the third string. And that also gives me a little rectangle of notes below it, 9 and 7 on the third string and 9 and 7 on the fourth string. And then 7 and 5 and 7 and 5 on the fourth and fifth strings. So I end up with a cool little set of boxes. 4 notes there, this note being the start of 4, and then this one, the note of the 9th fret on the third string, the E, going up to G, and now another box of 4. So you can practice. The last important thing about slide, because then we'll get into this. Well, I'll get into this more formally, hopefully next week. You have to use your right hand has to mute the notes on a string as you go to the next string. If I do this and go up to the second string, I hear this ghost note on the first string, and you don't want to hear that. Especially, it could sound really bad on a lower string. If I'm going from the 9th to the 12th and then to the 10th on the second string, it has to sound like that. And what I did was I killed the third string with my index finger as I was using my second finger to pluck the second string. And if I don't do that, you hear the third string do this. And that note is going to hurt. So we need to stop that. So that when I get to the 10th fret, the A there, it's all I'm hearing. Same thing here. If I slide up to B, and then I have to kill the B at the 12th fret. Not like that. I don't know if you can hear this. The camera's picking this up very well. You hear one note sliding back down in the background. And it should sound like this. So your right hand has to keep fingers muting the strings that you're not playing. So you really do need to use all 3 fingers and your thumb for that stuff. If I played that without any muting, it'd sound like this. Oh wait, sorry. I was making that way worse than it should be. It should sound like this. So, mess around with that. And next week, a little more formal instruction. Well, I say that, but I might get sidetracked and put out just another really cool lesson. I've got 4 or 5 others floating around in my head. We'll see what happens. We'll see what materializes this afternoon, actually, because that's my plan, is to get back ahead of the curve. Okay, is that enough Gary Davis for today? Oh, back out of tune. Back next week.